ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Okay. So last class we completed the Panchakosha argument and finished Anandamaya, and then the author said that because each of the koshas I look upon them as mine, my body, my Annamaya kosha is mine, Pranamaya kosha is mine, means belongs to me. And if you say I belongs to me, then he says you also say that this house belongs to me, these bracelets and these earrings also belong to me. So anything that belongs to me is not me. And he uses that argument to say that the Panchakosha is not, you are not the Panchakosha. That's the argument he makes, correct? So, tatha panchakoshadikam madiyatvena jnatam. And he says, therefore, because Panchakosha is also falling in the same category, belongs to me, then I cannot be the Panchakosha. Panchakosha is me, but I am not Panchakosha. Wave is water, but water is not wave. Okay? Same idea. Important idea. Okay. So now the question comes, now the student is making a very interesting question. He says, okay, I've come here to study Vedanta and I want moksha and I want to know all about Atma. And so you're telling me what Atma is not. I've been sitting here for so long. And you're telling me Shariram is not Atma, my nose is not Atma, my eyes is not Atma. Okay, I got it. Now tell me what is Atma. So that is the question he's going to ask now next. Okay. So let's see. So Hema, Go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, everybody can repeat. Atma tarhi kaha.
Atma tarhi kaha.
Satchidananda swarupaha.
Satchidananda swarupaha.
Okay, you can remain unmuted. So, appears like a repeat question. Earlier also the question was asked, right? Atma kaha. To which the answer was given. Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha. Then Panchakoshati San Avasthatre Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupa San Yasthishtati Sa Atma. That is how the Acharyaji had defined it. And we also, during that discussion, we also saw what is Sat, what is Chit, and what is Ananda. Sat was the content of time itself. Or looked at it differently, Sat is the truth of any object. That we have not completely analyzed, although we've seen examples of taking a pot, etc., and analyzing it. And then Chit. Chit was that consciousness which is invariable, which is not displaceable, which is self-evident, and to which everything else in this world becomes evident. So that we saw as Chit consciousness. And then Ananda. We saw Ananda. And we said Ananda must first be understood as Ananta. That is, that without any spatial limitation. And this consciousness has no spatial limitation. And so that wholeness is what is referred to by Ananta. And experientially, I have this experience of Sukha. And therefore the word Ananda is used. This we saw. And also any human being, any animal, it wants Ananda. Therefore the word Ananda is used. Okay, all this we saw earlier. So now he is asking Atma Tarhi Kaha Satchidananda Swarupaha. And Swamiji will take up every word separately. Let's see how he does that. Okay. So Mohini ji, ready for okay. Sat Kim Kalatrayepi Tishtati Iti Sat. Okay. So again here, student asked the question, Sat Kim? Because earlier it was not asked. Earlier the explanation was given. But, we chose to give the explanation. But the specific question was not asked. So here, after the student asks Sat Kim, the answer given is Kalatrayepi Tishtati. Very important. Kalatraya means the threefold time. Threefold time. Threefold time means how we have mentally broken up time. past, present, future. This is how the human mind has divided time. And so he is referring to that Kalatraya. Kalatraya means Trikalam or Kalaha. If it is masculine gender, then it must be Trayaha Kalaha. That is another way of saying. Traye Kale api tishtati. That which remains in all three periods of time. That's it. So he stops with that. Another way of stating this is Abaditam Sat. In Shastram, they use the word Abaditam. Badha. Badha means not Telugu Badha. Telugu Badha is different. Badha is difficulty, etc. is Badhamu and all they say, right? Hindi में प्राय बोलते हैं बाधा. I don't know what Hindi means.
There. Badha means obstacle.
Badha is obstacle. Yeah, exactly. So we pray that you don't have any badha. But here badha is different. In Vedanta, when we say badha, it means negation. Negation. That which cannot be negated is sat. The negation means what? So we will see that. How anything that is not what it was, if anything can change, that means that is getting negated. If there is something that cannot be like that forever, that means it gets constantly negated. So we will see that shortly, okay, as we explain. So another concept to understand is kalpita. Kalpita. So we've seen it before. This is not a new topic now for you. So we looked at table and we said table is nothing but wood. And every inch, every square millimeter of this is wood. And wood says, I am wood here, I am wood here. You point to any part of the table and the answer I get is wood. And so then I search for table. Then somehow we say, oh, this particular form is called table. Now, if I ignore wood and I say table, then what I am doing is called kalpita. Kalpana. I am doing a projection. I am projecting an idea I have on something that is fundamentally not that thing. I am projecting an idea I have, which I call table, on something. We just said every part of this object is wood, we said. So I project the table on wood. That projection is called kalpita. Kalpita. So anything mithya, which you've already seen, mithya means kalpita. I have to project something. So here we take, I want to take another example. Swamiji also takes another example. Beautiful. So suppose there is a song. You heard a song. This song, so let's say a classical song, Broche Vare Varuda. Correct? Broche varevarura Ninnu vina Raghuvara Nanu. Okay, very famous song. It was become made famous after Shankarabharanam, right? So now you heard something. You look at it and say, yeah, I recognize this song. It is a song, you say, and you say it is a classical, it is a Carnatic song composition. But then, look at this. Suppose you record this song. Okay, you take your iPhone or one of your phones and you record the song and then you play it. I'm asking you this. Hey, does this phone understand this language? Suppose I say this was Telugu composition in Telugu. Does the phone understand Telugu? How does it reproduce this song? How does it reproduce it? It doesn't know the language. It doesn't know anything about music. Leave alone classical music. That's a far cry, no chance. And how this machine is able to reproduce? Then we will say, this machine is only capable of recording these sound bites. Some sound is coming, there is technology which converts it into some electrical bits and bytes and frequencies, and these days they even show you all that, and going up and down and high pitch and low pitch and everything you can see. And so finally, what is being sung, even sung we can't say, what has just been said is nothing but a bunch of frequencies, bunch of sound bites, and you're calling it a song, and then you're calling it classical music. And then within classical music, you have already divided it into saying Carnatic music and Hindustani classical. And then somebody else says, no, there is also Western classical. Hi. So I have taken just some bits and bytes, sound bites, and then I do Sarigamapa on it. And then Sarigamapa, then I put a composition on it. Brocheva. And then I put a raga on it. I say this is Kamas Ragam. Like this, look at the build-up. Can you see the build-up? It's just some sounds. If you're not convinced yet that it is just some sounds, this is what I suggest you do. You just record it. You take an MP3 recording of your favorite song and then play it in one of your players on the computer and start reducing the speed. These days they allow you to reduce the speed and increase the speed also. Wonderful. I love this technology because it helps us understand Vedanta. You now reduce the speed. Reduce the speed further. Correct? You can't even listen to it. But the point is, what emanated from this throat is nothing but some sounds. Some disconnected sounds actually. Ba, ra, a, o. And then extended. Now you understand? Just some sounds have come. And on that I have kalpita, I have projected a whole system on top of it. And I conduct classes, and then classes go on, and finally after a dozen years, this person has become a vidwan, a singer, classical music singer. But kalpita, remember kalpita, projected. After all, it's a bunch of sounds, dhwani. That is why this machine is able to record it. Otherwise, it can't record. If learning a language is a prerequisite, then how can the machine record? So machine cannot record. Machine does not need to understand anything. So there is sound bites. Then I project musical notes, sari, gama, pa on top of it, or do, re, mi, etc. Then I project a raga on it, kalyani, kamas, etc. Then I write a composition. I write a composition and write it to this particular raga. And then I call it Carnatic classical. And then I call it in a bigger category, genre. These days you open the phone and you look at this audio app and they tell you all these albums and then singer and artist, singer, same thing. And then genre. Genre means what? Family of music, right? Genre. So then classical music genre. Then subgenres on it. And then parallel genres are there. Western music. Within that there is rock music. And other subgenres are there. Metal is there. Rap is there. Like this, so many families of music I have now. All from what? Just some, finally if you analyze them, they are just some sound bites. Correct? So understand here, what is to be understood is, everything is Ishvara, mind you. But understand that everything is a projection. Everything is a projection. Projection on something more fundamental. Then suppose you ask me, oh Jayakumarji, then what about my favorite Bollywood, Hindi? Hindi's music, I live and die for it. So then, yeah, a lot of favorites all we have. I used to have a favorite, this movie, Imtihan. Ruk jana nahi, tu kahin haar ke. So I had to sing it to myself every once in a while. Don't stop. We can't afford to get depressed like that, So that song used to prep me up a little bit. So analyze that. Same thing. R, U, Ik, J, A. This is how it is. So I'm camouflaging all of that by giving you some nice melody. And all I said was send bits like this. And camouflaged it all by putting a melody and then we say, wow, 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 wow. So understand this, all of this is kalpita. So we gave this example to appreciate this idea of projection. So the child is newborn child, and somebody here, our maid had a daughter-in-law and a newborn child, and it seems it's keeping its eyes open. I asked her, is the baby keeping the eyes open? She said, yeah, from day one, eyes are open. And she told me, if the mother doesn't eat hot food, If the mother does not eat hot and spicy food, the child will keep the eyes open right from day one. If they eat hot food, it will take them longer to open the eyes. So something I learned a couple of days ago. So now this child is listening and seeing, and it cannot make out anything. Nothing it makes out. And some smile occasional, some sukha dukkha is there. It needs some, its hunger is experienced, it cries, it doesn't know how to express. And it's relating, constantly relating. People are coming and saying ma and appa and all these words are being said. And then it doesn't know what to make out. What is amma, appa and all? Then it takes so much time, remember. See how much time it takes. What is happening? Projection is constantly happening, right? Project. Appa, I come. Appa has come. Amma has come. And then it only smiles. He doesn't know what to do. Amma, okay. Then after a while it figures out, oh, this body means Appa. This body means Amma. That's it. So much projection has to happen in order for the child to relate normally in life. So now we are trying to appreciate that process. And Vedanta is a process of understanding this projection. In a way, it appears a bit sad also. All my life I project. And now I've been told that I've been projecting all my life. Correct? But that's the way the Srishti is. So we're not worried about it. Srishti is like that. Okay. Now, just like this melody and music and genre has been projected on something fundamental, some sound bites. Same way. Past, present, future. So you can now think about it. After class, you just spend some time thinking about all this. Melody is divisible. Anything that is divisible comes in this category. The table was divisible. The flower is divisible. Petals. Who are you? I am petal. 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 Who are you? I am stamen. Who are you? I am pollen. Who are you? I am stalk. Acha, where is flower? I am looking for flower. I don't know where flower is. It's your problem. You figure it out. I am petal. So, like that, divisible. Any object that is divisible, then there is kalpita, there is some projection. And here also there is a superimposition. Kalpita, now I am using a word, new word. One word I said kalpita. The English word for that is superimposition, projection, all same thing. I superimpose something. So, I have a picture of grandparents on the wall, hanging on the wall. They have passed away long ago. I superimpose my real grandfather and real grandmother on that image, correct? The image cannot be the real person. But look at how much superimposition is there. My daughter's picture is also there. Somebody comes and says, ye kya hai? What is this? This color, this frame is not good. This picture, who took it? Who took this picture? Which studio did you go to? So very bad and all that. Can you accept that? Doesn't look good at all. Why you can't accept it? They are only commenting on the photo, not on your daughter. So here you're getting upset. They're only talking about the photo. They're giving you advice. They're saying, don't go to that studio, you go to another studio. But you get angry. Why angry? Because projection. Projection is there.
Hmm.
Sacred. That picture is sacred. It is not simply a piece of paper. That is why when something happens, we collect all these photographs and all these things and run away. Because everything else, let it burn, doesn't matter. But there are a few things that are so dear to me, I cannot let it burn. So look, understand Kalpita. Kalpita is very important to understand. So here also, past, present and future. Time itself is Kalpita. So we saw that last time. Time itself is Kalpita. In deep sleep, there is no time. And then when I wake up, that projection comes back to me. And I talk about morning, I talk about evening, I talk about night. Really speaking, there is no such thing as morning, evening and night. Really speaking. Yes, based on the way things you see things, there is brightness. Brightness comes, you call it morning. Brightness declines and you call it evening and night. All that is there, no doubt. But fundamentally, there is no. Everything is projection. Kalpita, understand projection. We have to bring Kalpita here. Correct? Time itself is not there. Then I create time. Then I create past, present, future. Then I create past century and past year, last year. And my son was born. Now he's 12 years old. All this I build up. I build up a whole autobiography and biography. Correct? I don't say it is wrong or anything. Not wrong. I'm saying we must appreciate all this. This is crucial. Kalpita. Past, present, future. Kalpita. Pot is Kalpita on the clay. Table is Kalpita on the wood. Remember. That is why. And yet time is a very important element in our life. Without time, there is just nothing. You can't say object exists without time. The time must be given to us. That is why classical physicists made that mistake. They assumed space and time was given. And then suddenly somebody comes up and says, wait a minute, that's a wrong assumption. That's a wrong assumption. And the entire world of science was amazed. What are you talking about? Yeah, time and space is not given. You are taking it for granted. Didn't Einstein say that? Essentially, people who think of relativity and all this idea and all came up. So then the acknowledgement was made that classical physics has the limitation that time and space it takes for granted. So here, if you take any object, at a given time, you take any object, you take this phone. This is the phone at the current time, which is 7:07 a.m. Indian Standard Time. This is the phone. A day later, this phone, even though I say it is the same phone, same telephone number, same apps, everything is same in this phone. But guess what? This phone is not the same phone that was yesterday. Very important fact to understand. The object, any object at a particular time is not the same object at another time. When we say that, what do we mean? See, even content-wise, we can make that. Suppose you look at a phone and say it is so many grams, and you go further down, it has so many atoms. Suppose I say. Tomorrow, when you come, will this phone have the same number of atoms?
No.
Doesn't. If your eyes could recognize atoms, you will say, oh my God, it has lost almost about 10,536,000 atoms. My God, so many atoms are not there, are missing from this phone. And the phone is still working. That's the amazement you will have. If you could see all that. If you could see all that happening. Oh, don't touch the phone. Oh my God, your phone, your hand. Oh, you just grabbed 1,000 atoms in your hand. This is the kind of argument you will have. I wish somebody makes a movie like that. It will be awesome to see. Even kids will enjoy it, I think. Oh my God, look, wash your hand. 1,000 atoms, 4 atoms are there in your hand. Why we are saying this? It shows that the object that we think is the same object is really not the same object. When we appreciate it, our whole vision will change. Even though it appears same, it is not the same. Correct? It's not the same. Just looking at it content-wise. Now, even if you say, no, this object is so solid, no atoms are disappearing, no exchange of atoms between this phone and the atmosphere, or between this phone and the human body, the touch, no change is happening. Even if I grant you that, still there is something called time. And that time is such a thing that it will devour everything that is there. And because I created this idea of time, I have to grant that this phone is aging. This phone was purchased 3 years ago. It is now 3 years old. If I want to sell it in some bay or eBay or something like that, you are welcome to sell it. First, whether buyers will be there for this or not, nobody knows. And if somebody wants to buy it, you better make sure you don't price it at this, I bought it for so many X thousand rupees. I bought it in India. So January, 3 years ago, I bought it for 30,000. And whether this will go for 1,000 rupees or not, we don't know. So why 1,000 rupees? Why not 30,000 rupees? This is a phone which, the atoms, it doesn't exchange any atoms. It doesn't lose any atoms. Come on, guys. Have you ever seen that kind of a phone? And nobody is going to buy that argument. And this argument, nobody knows better than the car dealership, the car dealer. Correct? Car dealer. Why? They say you drive the new car outside the dealership. And then, or scooter, it doesn't matter. And then you come back to him and say, wait a minute, I'm hearing some sounds. You give me another car. This fellow will laugh at you. He will have such a big laugh. He says, we'll be happy to fix it for you, sir. So this is what he will say. Because this is no longer the same car that you took. It's 5 hours old. So this guy knows all about time. Look at this. This car dealer knows all about time. And he says this object is not the same object you drove out, you took. You are getting a different object. See, this fellow is a Vedantin. He doesn't know he's a Vedantin, but he's a Vedantin. Correct? So, very important here that any object, even though for practical purposes it all looks same and unchanging, But we all know everything is subject to time. Every morning you get up and you have to clean, you have to dust, you have to do so much work. All because this time is there. And so, this mother is very enlightened. She attended all these Vedanta classes. And one day she wanted to surprise the son. Boy has returned from school. He comes back, knocks on the door. Mom opens the door. And mother looks at the son. Looks at the son and says, "Hey, son, who are you?" Not son. "Hey, who are you?" "I'm your son." "But you're not the same person who left home this morning. You're all changed now. You're a different person altogether." And now the son looks at the mom and says, You're not the same person who sent me to school this morning. You're a different person. You are the new mother. I'm the new son of the new mother. And the mother is filled with joy. And she says, "My God, I thought I am studying Vedanta. This boy is even smarter than me. He's understood Vedanta." And so she says, "Come on, new son. Come on, new mom." And hug each other. So in reality, we should appreciate this is what is happening. So in Telugu, they say, Guruvuniki minchina Shishudu. Means the student who's gone beyond the Guru himself. So he's too much. He's taken off. So like that here also. So this change is something we have to start appreciating. In Vedanta, this idea of time, idea of change is central to understanding Vedanta. Central. So same tree, when you say, we recognize that the tree has been changing, constantly growing, constantly changing. And the best way to appreciate that is to watch all these National Geographic videos. And they show this plant growing and becoming a tree in fast motion. Correct? And if the seed, and then immediately it sprouts, and immediately the sprout comes out of the ground, and then it breaks open, and then it starts growing, 2-3 leaves are there, and then it grows like this, and then some plant, and then big tree it becomes, and flowers and fruits. So the mango tree growth he can show in 1 minute. Correct? Fast motion. What does it tell us? Very obvious. It tells us that any object is constantly changing. Growth, of course, we appreciate growth, no doubt. No doubt we appreciate growth. But we have to appreciate that every object is constantly changing. The object, as I see it, is not the same object that was at any time in the past. Okay? So this is critical. We don't see the same object again. That's another way to put it. You don't see the same object again. So it can be a bit saddening to think like that. I don't see the same thing again means what? We all ache for the past. This school, you go to your school and say, "Oh, this is school where I studied." You meet your teachers and you say, "Oh," and all the past comes back to you. So the past seems to have a certain attraction to all of us. And but yeah, everything is becoming past quickly. It's all happening. So if if this classical music song is Kalpita, the table is Kalpita, the tree is Kalpita, this so-called my son is also Kalpita, my young son even more Kalpita, all that is Kalpita. Then the question is there something that is constant? That question has to arise. Yes. Is there something that is akalpita? Is there something that is akalpita? Yes. One way to appreciate akalpita is this. In order for me to project something, project my idea on something else, for me to project table on wood, there must already be wood, correct? Something must be there for me to project. That is obvious. Therefore, there must be something, and that something also, if it is mithya, wood, if you say is mithya, all right, then there is cellulose, then there is pulp, etc. Then there is something that is self-evident, and that self-evident must be there in order for me to project something. Something must be there. I may be making a mistake, all right, fine. But to make a mistake, something must be there. Something must be there. The rope must be there for me to make a mistake that it is a snake. I can't make a mistake if there is nothing. That is the point. So here also, past, present, futures. Kalatraya, Satkim Acharya is talking about past, present and future. So when I say telephone is, or when I say table is, that time I'm assuming time exists. I've already assumed time exists. Otherwise, I can't say object is. So that is there, object is there, and is I'm adding, and that is that consciousness. I am adding the isness to this object. No doubt object exists independent of me. But when I say something is, I am adding that is, and that addition is consciousness of time. I am saying, not explicitly, there is time. Time consciousness is. Time consciousness is. Okay? We analyzed time little last time also, couple of months ago. Another projection, we will take an example. Devadattaha pachati. Devadattaha pachati. So in Shastram, often they give a name. If they want to give an example and want to give the name of a person, they will use the word Devadatta. Devadatta. So Devadatta pachati. Somebody cooks, that somebody is called Devadatta pachati. Now, you analyze this action of pachati. Cooks. So you ask him, hey, what happened? Did you wash all the vegetables? Yeah, I washed the vegetables. What about cucumber? Has it been scraped? Yeah, Cucumber also has been scraped. Oh, Devadatta Pachati, remember Devadatta Pachati. Devadatta cooks. Then I go and see what he cooks. And he has done all this. What about chawal? Cooking on the stove. So like this, he is giving me a big list of things he's already done. So there is so much cooked already has happened, but still you say Devadatta Pachati. Devadatta cooks, Devadatta cooks, Devadatta cooks, Devadatta cooks, Devadatta cooks. So then the present is what? What is this present cooks you're talking about? When does cooking start and when does cooking end? Are you referring to a whole big time frame as present? So this question, if you ask, it gets a bit confusing. Because Devadatta cooks, if you say, you have to specify a time. And that time is gone means then it is cooked. No longer cooks. But then no, he cooks. He cooks. Devadatta cooks. And so much cooked has happened. So much cooked has happened and still Devadatta cooks. So this present tense, if you analyze, very tricky it becomes. So much future so much future is there and so much past is also there and present is constantly moving. And in the so-called present that I talk about, there is so much past. Devadatta is cooking means Devadatta has cooked a lot also. And so this idea of present is my projection. That is the point we are trying to say here. My idea of present is a projection. Because I don't really understand the present. The present, as we said earlier, cannot have a duration. Cannot have a duration. If you say the present, okay, let's decide, let's say 1 second is present. Anything that happens in 1 second now, 1 second later, okay, that we'll call it as present. We can't even agree on that because we can divide it further. Within that 1 second, there is so much past. There is a half a second of past, half a second of present. Then you divide it further. There is a 3/4 second past and 1/4 second present. Like this, it goes on. So my idea of present is always kalpita. Past, of course, is kalpita. Past is kalpita, future is kalpita, a big kalpita is future. That I am going to live is a big kalpita. For so many days and years and months and all that is there. But the future is kalpita, the past is kalpita, present, unless I understand, it is all kalpita. So, this is how we analyze Sat. We took 2 or 3 examples. The example of any speech, any song, anything that for which you have given a name, you take that and analyze it. You cannot put your finger on it. You really cannot put your finger on it. There is really, you have to come back and say, oh my God, I can't find the song. We can only commonly agree on certain things. Correct? Commonly agreed, fine, that works well in our transactions. But if you start inquiring into the truth of the song, you won't find the song. You won't find the song. Not there. Not there at all. There are just some sound bites. And even the sound bites can be analyzed further. And it will reduce to further fine entities for which we don't even have names. And it has to reduce to the entity called Sat. Called Sat. Kalatrayepi tishtati. that which just doesn't change, like this phone and any other object and tree and fan and everything changes in time, object at time. T1 is different from object at time T2. Then that which doesn't change with time, that has to be Sat. That is what Sat is. Because everything we see is changing. Therefore, the question has to arise, wait a minute, tell me a little more so I can appreciate Sat. Because everything is Asat. And they say everything is temporary. We've heard all these things. As children, we used to hear these words, Maya, this and that. So many words we used to say. And even I told you this before, I think, even when my mother used to curse me, coming after me with a stick, she used to say, Kattail Boravane. Kattail Boravane, my God, what a statement it is. Rukmini ji is laughing. And I'll translate that. Kattail Boravane, Abrinna they will say, means we don't understand. Whether they understand also, we don't know. But we don't understand. It means my mother is going to come and hit me. I better run away from here. That's what it means to me. Okay? I could hear the voice rising and I better run away from here. But Kattail Poravane means what she's saying, hey, you are just, Katta means wood. Okay? Wood. Kattail Poravane. Hey, guy, you are going to go on a piece of wood. This is what she's saying. It means what? You are acting so tough. You are acting so big. You are acting as though you know everything. After all, you are going to be burnt on a piece of wood. And you are acting so tough. This is what they are saying. When Swamiji, I heard this from Swamiji in one of the talks, I was completely floored. I said, this is too much. My God. So even in the curse, there is Vedanta. There is Satyam in that curse. And maybe they understood. Our older generation obviously understood it. But whether the person who said it understood it or not, interesting to check it out. I should do some polling. Maybe when I talk to my cousins and all, I'll ask them about this. Kattail Poravane. Because some of my aunts were very good at this. And I remember my aunt when I hear this word. So, Kalatrayepi Tishtati Yat Tat Sat. That is what we saw today. So, think about that. And we will continue it in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobhramanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om